Lovelies. If you are returning, as always, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the family. Today we're going to do some beef brisket. Your girl's not the biggest fan of beef, but sometimes we got to take one for the team. So these are the seasonings that we're going to be prepping for later on. We're not going to use them now. We're just going to prep them and put them to the side. So on the plate there, you've got some garlic. So I've got 4 pegs of garlic. I've got 1 salad tomato that I have cut in half, and then I've got half of a large onion. If you want, you can just use 1 small onion. That's up to you. If you want, you can use more or you can use less. That is no problem. So I'm just going in and doing some fine slices of the onion. Guys, that's just how I prefer to do my onion slices. However, you don't have to do it that way. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that onion that decided to do a whole backflip into the stove. We'll clear that up later. And then I'm getting the plate that we have all the other seasonings on, and I'm just going to put that onion that I've just cut up on that plate so it's out of the way. Guys, on the plate there, I've got some Scotch bonnet pepper. Guys, use as much or as little as you prefer. I've also got about 1/4 of a sweet pepper seasoned. Gosh, sweet pepper that I've cut up. If you want to use more or less, that's up to you again. I've got 6 pimento seeds and about 8 to 10 Springs of Thyme on there. Guys, you feel free to use as much or as little seasoning as you want. It's totally up to you. So just cut up the garlic and put that aside on the plate there, and you're going in with the tomatoes. What is wrong with me today and my words? It's just rough chopped. Anyway you want to chop up your tomatoes, feel free to go for it. Yeah, I'm just, at this point, it was Christmas Day. The beef and the turkey were 2 of the last things that I did, and I literally just wanted to be out of the kitchen. So yeah, I just decided to just go for it. Now we've just gotten our beef brisket. I have washed and left the beef to drain off for a while. Coming from the supermarket, obviously it can be dirty. I don't really care. I wash my meat, so it's up to you guys. You can use vinegar or you can use lemon, lime juice, whatever. And I just weighed the beef brisket there so you guys could get an accurate weight, and it weighed 938 grams. Okay, so that's what my beef brisket weighed. I got it from the supermarkets, the butcher section. You don't have to use that exact amount. You can use more or less. I got quite a decent amount out of this, which you'll see later once we start slicing it up. So I've got some salt there. That's just normal table salt, and I've just gone in with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can use 1 teaspoon if you want. It's totally up to you. Gone in with 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. As always, guys, you use whatever you want to use. So if you want to use peppercorns instead, go ahead. I'm just going in with 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, and that's a Dunn's River brand. As you know, that's what I use. A 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. You can use smoked paprika if you want. I've just used the normal one that I got from Co-op because that's the closest to me. I just went in with a sprinkle of ginger powder. I'd say just under 1/4 teaspoon, just to add to that flavour and kick it up a bit. A teaspoon of mixed herbs, and then we're going in with my favourite, dried parsley, guys. So I'm going in with 2 teaspoons of that. Just took out a little stick there because they were just disrespectful with my parsley and left a bit of stick in there. I don't know why. Then we're going to go in with some Pickapeppa Sauce, and that would be 1 teaspoon. Guys, do bear in mind that, these things, I've used them in the quantities that I have for reasons. So if you're going to go wild and change it up, please make sure you at least give a little taste of the ingredients to make sure you know exactly what the flavor combination will be, so you don't go overboard and something is too salty or too peppery, or just like overload with certain spices or whatever it is, because you do not want that, trust me, especially if you're cooking for other people. I'm just going to put in 2 teaspoons of browning. I use the Sarsons brand. You use whatever one is local to you. Excuse my dry hands, guys. You know, Christmas Day. Obviously, you can imagine how much I was doing in the kitchen. So just bear with me. And don't forget to wash your hands in between whilst you're cooking, guys. It's so important. Yeah, we don't want no germs, okay? Especially if you have nails. Please clean underneath the nails. Make sure you've got your nail brush by the side of your sink, your face basins, everywhere. We're just going in now, rubbing in the seasonings into that meat, making sure that we're massaging it in properly so that when it goes to marinate, it just sinks in and it will just be tasting and smelling beautiful. Okay, so guys, if you've still got it rolled up into the strings, make sure you get into all of the little creases and crevices and all of that stuff. And yeah, just work your seasonings in. Obviously, if you want to, you can also take off the strings and you can cut off that fat layer on the outside, because obviously how we're cooking it, it won't be enough time to render it all down and get all of that fat out. Me personally, I like a bit of fat on my meat, don't ask. I just like tasting it, so I cook mine with it. But if you don't like a lot of fat on the meat, you can trim that down before you get started with seasoning or any of that. So I've taken off my gloves, washed my hands, and now I've gotten a pot on the stove. I'm just going to go in with some oil. I just use normal cooking oil, and you just literally want to cover the base of the pan, not too much but not too little, because we're going to use this to seal the meat. And then you want to preheat the pan before you put the meat in there, because we're going to seal it, we're going to lock in all of those good flavors. And just I usually use this as a kind of base to harden the outside of the meat so that I can cut it nicely without, you know, a lot of problems. So here I've heated up the pan and I'm just going to go in and just seal the meat on all of the sides. Guys, please do be mindful that if you're obviously preheating the pan, the oil can get really hot and it can splash back at you or whatever. So you want to just be making sure that you're keeping an eye out, being vigilant and protecting yourself from any oil, because burns are not okay. Sorry. So I'm just moving the meat around on all sides, sealing it. Guys, as you can see there, it looks quite dark. It's not burnt, trust me. It's just that obviously beef is quite a dark meat, and we've also gone in with the soy sauce and the Pickapeppa sauce, so it will look a lot darker than it is, but trust the process and you will see it's gonna come out looking fab. Okay, so I'm gonna do this each side for about 6 to 7 minutes, just to make sure that it's all done properly and everything. If you are gonna take off the fat, make sure that you remove it nice and evenly, and you can also go in and score the top of the meat as well, where the rest of the fat is, to help it you know, melt down all the fat and get you a nice cook. You don't actually have to cook it with the strings like this. You could take the strings off as well, even if you're not cutting off a majority of the fat. You can actually take off the strings, bearing in mind when you open it, it's going to be much wider, so you will need a pot to accommodate that. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. A lot of people actually just put a lot less oil in the bottom of their first initial pan, and they literally just leave the beef to cook down in that pan on a low heat, as opposed to sealing it for you know, up to 20 to 30 minutes, probably even more, and then slice it up. But we do things different around here, so I'm just going to show you guys how I do it. So we've done all the sides now. We're just going to move on to the top and the bottom of the meat. Guys, the fire that I'm the flame, sorry, is a medium flame. However, as I was cooking so much, literally the oven, the stove, everything was going. Like I said, these were the last two things of the night, the turkey and the beef, so you would not have seen much other action going on. At this point, the turkey was in the oven. I had the window open, so that's why you'll see the flame literally blowing around like a mad live flame. It's not that high, and it's not going out of control. It's literally just the breeze coming in from the window that's causing this to happen. So yeah, I just thought I wouldn't bore you too much with the process. So I've sealed all the sides now, and I've literally just gone back over it all again to just make sure that everything is as I'd like it to be, and then we will go from there. And guys, as you can see, I'm not using my hand, I'm not using a fork, I'm literally going in with the tongs to move the meat about and pick it up, because with a fork obviously it can slide off the fork and easily the oil can splash and burn you, so you want to be careful with that. So we're just going to take out the brisket out of the pot, turn off the heat, and you can discard of that oil if you want. If not, you can use it again in your final cut down. Personally, I'm going to discard of it. Please make sure you discard of it within your regulations where you are. I know some places, you know, you have to dispose of them in a different location from, you know, your bin. So just bear that in mind, guys. So we're just going to leave this beef there to rest on the cutting board. Reason being is when you're cutting it up and everything, you don't want blood leaking all over your cutting board and it just getting disgusting. So I'm just going to let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can let it rest for more if you would prefer. I wouldn't really say you need more than, say, 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm just going to get the saucepan that I'm going to use to do the final cut down, because obviously the center of the meat right now is still raw. It's not fully cooked through. I've only sealed the edge of the meat, as I said earlier. So I'm going back in now with a new pan, and I've put about 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan. If you want to put more, you can do. I've used vegetable oil, but you can use an alternative. That's totally up to you. And the seasonings that we cut up earlier and put aside, we've literally just put them in the pan. Excuse me, using the top of the knife to do this this bit, getting all the stuff in the pan. So we're just moving that to the side now, and don't worry, this is a time lapse. Time has actually passed and that meat has been rested. As you can see, there's no blood or anything anywhere leaking out or anything like that. So I'm literally just going to remove the bands that was used to tie up the meat, so that you're not chewing on that. Guys, that is a step that you do not want to forget, because trust me, you do not want anyone trying to chew that. It's not pleasant. I've actually been served food before with the string in it, and I didn't realise I was eating the string, and I was there going, why is this so unpleasant to eat? Not realising that I was chewing string. So guys, you just want to be mindful of that. I don't want any of your guests chomping on string, okay? It's not okay. So we're just going to move this pot out of the way so we can turn the board around. Oh, are we going to? Okay, so we just turn the meat. Fine, no problem. And I'm just going to go in and cook the meat with thin slices. Guys, please do excuse the knife that I'm using. it is not sharp enough for what I'm doing. I'm just winging it because, like I said, Christmas Day, it was just getting a bit ridiculous in the kitchen and I just wanted to come out, so I just grabbed this knife and then I'm just cutting up the meat. So please guys, use a knife that is, you know, good for cutting up the meat. Make sure you use a sharp one. At this point I was just so tired because, as you guys know, I like to clean up my kitchen as I go along. Yeah, so I just cut up the rest of the meat, and now the seasoning, I've got it on a medium heat and I'm just sweating the onions and the rest of the seasoning in the saucepan on a medium heat for a little bit before adding in the ingredients to make up a little sauce. So I've just gone in with about 6 tablespoons of ketchup, then about 1 teaspoon of Pickapeppa sauce, okay, and then I go in with about a tablespoon of brown sauce. Trust the process, guys. I know. Don't worry, it's all gonna come together in the end and tasting good. Trust me. So that was the brown sauce, and that was about 1 tablespoon. And then we've got a little bit of black pepper just to give that extra kick and flavor. I'd say that was probably about 1/4 teaspoon or just under 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just going to mix this in to, you know, get all of those flavors blended together, get it all mixed up. Guys, you're going to make sure that you've got a pan big enough to fit all of the meat and the sauce and the seasonings and all of that together. Okay, I've just gone in with some water now. I'd say that was somewhere between 200 and 300 ml. Obviously you do the amount that is suitable for you and the amount that you're cooking, but that was fine for the amount that I was cooking. And as you go along, if you need to add water to it, please do, but just add a little bit at a time. Probably say you know, amounts of 50 ml, so that it's not too much and it's not too little. I'm just going to go in and add in the beef that we cut up earlier. Oh gosh, look how beautiful that is. Oh my word, guys, this beef just tasted so nice, so nice. Oh my gosh, I can't even describe how nice it was. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please do not forget, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications, leave a comment in the comment section, and if you guys have any video requests, please leave a comment and request what videos you want. I've got some exciting new ones coming up this year, so I know a lot of people have been requesting things, and you've been messaging me, sending me DMs, stuff like that. So yeah, I will definitely be doing a lot more videos this year. I was away working on a few bits and pieces, which I will share very soon, and I'll do a giveaway as well, so keep an eye out for that. So we're just layering in all of that yummy stuff that we just did. And guys, look how full this pot is. Literally, I was thinking at one point, should I get a bigger pot or should I just leave it as it is? But it all worked out in the end. It all fit in the pot, so that was good. So we're just gonna go in now and make sure that everything is just tucked in nicely and it's ready to be cooked down. And I just literally left this in the pot for 45 minutes. Guys, please check it as you go along. You could just take out like a piece and just cut it bit by bit. So after the 45 minutes, this is what we are working with. It was looking and smelling absolutely gorgeous. At this point, guys, if you want, you can add in some extra like sweet peppers, just like, you know, to add to the color and stuff, or you can leave it as is. You can do some fresh garnish on top when you serve it up with some cut up herbs or something, you know, just jazz it up, make it fancy and all of that. And we just cook this on a medium to low heat as it went along. So guys, that literally is all there is to it. It's not hard. A lot of people do shy away from cooking beef, but guys, it is really simple, easy, and it tastes really good. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.